Is there something in me that still feels like, ooh, that's a little bit sacrilegious, or that's a little bit not proper, or how could I be that? Sometimes that niggling stuff is still there. So when we talk about the thing itself, I really invite you to begin to think of the thing itself as you and more, but as you individualized, because that brings God right in. And that's where we really need to feel it and know it. God as me, because that does away then with the separation. And that allows each of us to rule our own universe and to know that it is a creation of our own consciousness. So I invite you to examine your reactions. Just play with this as a new idea if you've never done it before. God is me. We talk about this a lot, and I think in our heads we go, yeah. But bring it in deeper. What would that mean? What would that feel like to think of the thing itself as I am God, individualized? What difference would that make in my life? There is that within ourselves, that I am of us, that is waking us up. Are you ready to be awake? The second chapter is entitled The Way It Works. I told you this would be a quick summary. The way it works, this thing called God, how does it work? Well, this is the part that we really call law. And the simple answer to the way it works is automatically and effortlessly. That could be the end of this chapter. It works automatically and effortlessly. We aren't the law. We don't have to do the work. And I think sometimes this is the hardest part for metaphysicians. Because if we truly understand the way it works and know that it's automatic and it's effortless, we could take our attention off, how is this going to happen? We could just let that go. And unless we felt an intuitive push to do something, it would just show up, whatever it was. We know that it works according to our belief, our feeling, our understanding, our consciousness. If we truly understand that the law is doing the work, then we can get ourselves off the how's it going to happen and get our attention to where it matters, our consciousness, our belief system, our understanding. Because I'm seeing personally in my own life, the more that I spend time with developing my understanding of my relationship with and in God, the better everything works out. I don't have to be as concerned about all the stuff, and it sure makes life more fun. I recommend it. Dr. J reminded us, I think it was last week. No, it would have had to have been the week before, about mental equivalence. And I think if you've been in any classes, you know about mental equivalence. I think Emmett Fox is the one that really brought that forward as a term. Whatever we hold in mind is reproduced outwardly. So our mental equivalent shows up in the world. And our work is on lifting our mental equivalent. Law is our servant, and it has to do what it's ordered to do. and we give orders to our servant, the law, by our consciousness. I think it was Jean-Luc Picard. Are any of you Star Trek fans? I think he's the one on the Starship Enterprise who would give a command and then say, "Make it so." That's our relationship with the law. We focus on the love, we focus on the light, we focus on the joy, the freedom, prosperity, whatever it is that is truly us. And then the law makes it so, and so it is. What it does. The simple answer is it brings consciousness into form. That's what law does. It shows us what we believe, what we expect, what we understand. So if you have a moment where you're thinking, "Oh, I'm not really sure what my beliefs are," just look at your life. What's happening? Who's showing up? And what is the feeling of that? Is it loving? Is it harmonious? Is it freeing and relaxing? If not, then the law is giving you a gift of, "Oh, this is showing up, and I'd like to have a greater degree of that. Maybe the only love in my life that I get right now is from puppies on the street. I'd like to have it from people." Okay, well, I see that I have a level of love in my consciousness. Let me do what I can to increase that through spiritual mind treatment, through meditation, through contemplation, through going to a practitioner, whatever it takes, through attending classes. So, what it does, again, it brings consciousness into form. It shows us what we believe or expect. It says yes, and it gives and gives and gives and gives. And it is for us to open our arms more fully to receive and receive and receive more of what is already being given all the time. So that's what it does. How to use it. That's the last chapter in the introduction, how to use it. How many of you use it consciously? Anybody? Okay. The obvious way is through spiritual mind treatment, affirmative prayer. We can learn how to have our lives be better. That's why I love this center so much. And I'm so grateful that Ernest Holmes compiled all the wisdom of so many different religions. And I can go to one book instead of having to study everything around the whole world. It's right here. And I know that treatment works. It works and it works and it works. And I love the idea that Dr. Bitzer said many, many years ago. He said, when I'm having a rough spot, and I might be having a little bit of difficulty doing my own treatment. I do it, but maybe, I want to have a little extra help. He says, I remember all the treatments that have ever been done for me or that I've ever done for myself, and I know they're still in effect. It's like a snowball. They keep rolling. So if you're not around a practitioner and you're out of sorts, remember that all the prayers, all the treatments that have ever been done for you are still in effect, unless at some point you have said, "No, stop the good, I don't want it." Otherwise, they keep coming, and I don't think any of us ever have said, "Stop the good." So how do we use this? Dr. J also says, where my mind goes, my world follows. That's obvious.